Sometimes when a woman ignores you, it's not because she's losing interest or playing games, and it's definitely not always because you did something wrong. It's often because she feels something deep for you, something that shakes the carefully built walls around her heart. She likes you more than she expected, and that scares her. It's the emotional intensity, the way you make her feel safe, seen, and connected, that triggers her fear of vulnerability. She's been taught by life, by past relationships, and even by society that letting someone get too close is dangerous, that to depend on a man is weakness, that needing someone is something to be ashamed of, something that puts her at risk of losing herself. So when she meets someone who makes her feel deeply, who wakes up feeling she's tried to bury, her instinct isn't always to lean in. It's to pull back, to protect herself, to protect the connection, to keep herself from diving in so quickly that she forgets who she is without you. It's a survival mechanism, not rejection. And it's not about you failing or falling short. It's about her realizing she actually cares, and caring feels risky. It feels like giving up her armor. It feels like putting her heart in someone else's hands and praying you don't crush it, whether on purpose or by accident. So silence becomes her shield, and distance becomes her defense while she battles her fear of being hurt again. If you misunderstand this and take her pulling back as a sign she doesn't care, you will react from a place of insecurity, and you will chase her exactly when she needs to breathe. You will panic and self-sabotage something that had the potential to grow into something beautiful, simply because you couldn't see that her silence was proof of how much she felt, not how little. Asterisk. When a woman pulls back and goes silent, it's easy to assume she's rejecting you or losing interest. But that silence is often her way of regulating overwhelming emotions, not pushing you away for good. She may have started feeling a deep attachment, excitement, and emotional intensity that scares her because it feels like she's losing control over her heart. She doesn't want to rush in so fast that she abandons herself, nor does she want to mess up something that feels meaningful. Her silence becomes her space to breathe, to process the connection, and to test if what she's feeling is real or just another cycle that will leave her hurt. She's not trying to punish you or make you guess, but she needs this space to ensure she doesn't lose herself in the process of getting to know you. She doesn't want to overwhelm you with her emotions or come across as needy, so she holds back to keep herself in check. But here's what most men miss. If you react to this silence with neediness, endless explanations, anger, or desperation, you confirm her fear that being vulnerable with you will lead to chaos and instability. You teach her that leaning in will only create drama, that her feelings are too much for you to handle. However, if you remain calm and grounded during this period, you signal that it's safe for her to return when she's ready. You show her that you aren't going to crumble under the weight of uncertainty and that you can handle the space without panicking. Your patience becomes a quiet strength that speaks louder than words, allowing her to see that you are the kind of man who doesn't need constant reassurance to feel secure. This calm presence becomes what makes her feel safe to reconnect with you. Asterisk. When a woman goes silent or pulls away, she is often unconsciously testing your emotional strength to see if you can hold yourself together without her constant presence. She doesn't want to be with a man who collapses the moment she needs space or who spirals when she steps back to think. She wants to know you have your own life, your own purpose, and your own center of gravity that doesn't depend on her validation to remain intact. She needs to see if you can stand on your own 2 feet, not because she wants to leave, but because she wants to feel that being with you will bring her freedom, not the heavy burden of being responsible for your emotional state. When you chase her immediately, sending multiple texts trying to fix the silence, or demanding clarity too soon, you are showing her that your emotional stability depends on her presence. You are telling her, without saying a word, that you need her to feel whole. And that scares her more than her own feelings do. It makes her associate love with suffocation and pressure, reminding her of all the moments she lost herself in people who could not carry their own emotional weight. The paradox is that, while you think chasing will bring her back, it only pushes her further away because she sees that you are not the grounded man she can trust when things get intense. But when you can stay calm and continue living your life without falling apart, when you can let her feel her feelings and find her way back without pressure, she begins to see you differently. She sees you as a man who is solid, who is not desperate, who will not lose himself trying to keep her. That calm strength draws her in, making her feel safe to let down her guard. Asterisk, giving her space without resentment is one of the rarest gifts you can offer a woman when she pulls back. Most men turn distance into punishment, using silence to manipulate, or guilt her into returning before she's ready. But this only makes her feel unsafe to show up honestly. When you give her space with calm acceptance, without punishing her emotionally or making her feel like she has to walk on eggshells around you, she feels free to process her emotions and return when she's ready. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. It means you respect her need to breathe without making it about your insecurities. The truth is, many women fear that showing their emotional misanthropes will push a man away or cause conflict. So they pull back to protect the connection, not to destroy it. If you react to her need for space with anger, coldness, or guilt-tripping, you reinforce her fear that being vulnerable will lead to rejection or drama. But if you remain steady, warm, and continue living your life without trying to force a timeline on her, you show her that you are a safe space, someone who will not crumble under her uncertainty or emotional waves. This builds a foundation of trust and attraction because she learns that she can be herself without risking your respect or the stability of the connection. It allows her to see you as a man who values his own peace and purpose while honoring her needs, which is deeply attractive. Space doesn't have to be a threat or a sign of abandonment. It can be the reason she feels secure enough to return. Because she knows that when she comes back, she is coming back to a man who is solid, grounded, and capable of giving love without turning it into a transaction for reassurance. Asterisk, here's the truth many men don't understand. When you wait around for her to come back, silently watching her stories, hoping for her to return, you might think you're being patient. But you're actually placing your life on hold for her validation. Women can sense this, even if you never say a word. They can feel when your energy is still orbiting them, when you're lingering in the background waiting for a sign, and it makes them lose respect for you, even if they still have feelings. The paradox is that a woman often returns when she feels you have moved on with peace. It's not when you are silently waiting for her approval. When you stop waiting, when you stop checking up on her, when you redirect that energy back into your purpose, your health, your growth, and your passions, you become magnetic without trying. You evolve into a man who is not seeking validation from her return, but one who is living fully, regardless of whether she chooses to come back or not. And when she does come back, she is met with a version of you that has grown, who is not bitter, but who is also not desperate. She is faced with the reality that you are not the same man she left, and it forces her to reflect on whether she still fits into your new world, whether she has done the work to show up for you as the man you have become. This is power, but it's not about playing games. It's about respecting yourself so deeply that you refuse to pause your life for someone else's uncertainty. In a world where most men beg for attention and chase to keep a woman's interest, being the man who can walk away with peace in his heart becomes unforgettable. It shows her that you were always enough, and that is the energy that makes her realize what she's truly risking by letting you go.